The man nervously drew a circle on the floor with a piece of chalk, because something evil was trying to get through the door. Just in time, he finished the circle. When the spirit entered the room, it kept circling around the bed. An invisible barrier trapped it outside and kept it from getting any closer. Once Jack realized the spirit couldn't reach him, he slowly drifted off to sleep. After checking the room and finding the spirit gone, he finally relaxed. Jack was a writer who specialized in supernatural horror novels. When he was a child, he accidentally pulled a trigger. The accident killed his mother. His father was devastated and passed away not long afterward. Ever since then, Jack had been seeing his mother's ghost. Lately, the visions had become more frequent. For years, guilt had haunted him. Hoping to give his parents peace, he decided to scatter their ashes at one of their favorite travel destinations. Afterward, he checked into an old hotel where they once stayed. He planned to leave the next day, but there he heard a strange legend. People said a witch had once been burned alive at the hotel. Since then, guests had mysteriously disappeared. After several failed investigations, the owner sealed off the room connected to the legend. Everyone was warned to stay away. Curious, Jack asked the receptionist to take him inside, but she refused, afraid of getting in trouble. Anna, who loved ghost stories, immediately pulled out a book. According to the book, drawing a chalk circle around yourself could protect you from the witch. As they talked, a hotel worker named Abby walked over. Excited, Anna asked him to tell the story again. Abby was supposedly one of the people who had encountered the witch. After some hesitation, he began. One day, while hiding near the room instead of working, something suddenly knocked his hat off. He nervously shined a lighter into the darkness, and there he saw a pale face staring back at him. Jack wasn't impressed. As a horror writer, he'd written stories far scarier than that. After Anna left, Abby approached Jack. He had recognized him right away and claimed to be a fan. Abby even asked Jack to read a story he had written, but Jack had no interest. When Abby kept talking despite being brushed off, Jack grabbed a hot spoon and pressed it against his hand. Humiliated and hurt, Abby walked away. That night, Anna realized Jack had forgotten some belongings. She went to return them, but no matter how long she knocked, nobody answered. What she didn't know was that Jack had been rushed to the hospital. That night, he was overwhelmed by terrifying visions. Already burdened by guilt over his mother, he suffered a complete breakdown. A few days later, after being discharged, Jack returned to the hotel to collect his things. The place felt even emptier than before. That's when he learned Anna had mysteriously disappeared while he was hospitalized. The police had searched both the hotel and the nearby woods. Their main suspect was a homeless man living nearby. The man often ground up hallucinogenic mushrooms and mixed them into water. He believed they could expand human perception. Most people thought he was insane. Someone had seen him talking to Anna on the night she vanished, and now he had disappeared too. Even with all the evidence pointing at the homeless man, Jack wasn't convinced. He had met the man before. Strange as he was, they had actually gotten along. What puzzled Jack even more was that the sealed room had never been searched. The staff explained that only the hotel owner had the key to the iron door. No one else could get inside. With no other leads, Jack decided to investigate the homeless man's campsite. There he found one of Anna's favorite books inside a vehicle. Just then, the homeless man suddenly appeared. Instead of running, he calmly answered Jack's questions. He claimed Anna was his friend. He denied hurting her. In fact, he said he had seen Anna's ghost. 2 nights earlier, he had sneaked into the hotel hoping to steal something. While leaving, an old service elevator bell inside the sealed room suddenly rang. Anna's ghost appeared and pointed toward the dumbwaiter. The homeless man had since stolen the key from the hotel owner. He planned to sneak back into the hotel that night after closing. Curious, Jack decided to join him. That evening, they broke into the hotel. As they headed upstairs, the homeless man went looking for something he could use as a weapon. While waiting near the entrance, Jack heard a loud thud. A security guard had discovered the intruder and knocked him unconscious. The guard never noticed Jack hiding nearby, so Jack continued alone. Soon, he reached the top floor and entered the mysterious suite. Inside, there was nothing unusual, just the smell of decay. Gradually, he relaxed. Without realizing it, he fell asleep. Later, someone woke him up. The hotel owner had discovered the missing key and come to investigate. Without thinking, Jack handed the key over. Just as they were about to leave, Jack noticed a small hidden door in the wall. The owner's reaction was immediate. He desperately urged Jack to leave. Ignoring him, Jack opened the door. Inside was an old food elevator. The owner's nervous behavior made Jack suspicious. He pressed the control button. As the machine rattled to life, something slowly rose from below. It was Anna. Her body had been missing for days. Jack froze in horror. The owner knew the secret was out. He immediately locked the room and left. Then he staged the hotel to make it seem as though no one had ever entered. His plan was simple: leave Jack trapped inside forever. Next to Anna's body, Jack found his own recorder. In a recorded message, Anna revealed the truth. She had been involved with the hotel owner, and she was pregnant. If the affair became public, everything he had built would be destroyed. So he locked Anna inside the elevator shaft. Because the basement control was broken, the lift could only be operated from above. Anna had died alone in darkness and despair. The witch legend had become the perfect cover story. Now Jack was trapped in the same room. He refused to die there, and he refused to let the truth disappear with him. Searching desperately for an escape, he discovered a small dog door hidden behind a cabinet, but it was locked from the outside. All he could find was a kitchen knife. He tried removing the rusty screws around the opening. After struggling for a long time, he finally loosened one, but many of the others were rusted solid. What he didn't notice was that something was watching him from behind. A chill ran down his spine. For the first time, he wondered if the witch legend might actually be real, and if all the answers were hidden in the basement. Maybe there was even another way out. Determined to find out, Jack headed downstairs. Before going, he built a simple mechanism using a rotating figurine. It would automatically press the elevator button every hour. That way he wouldn't end up trapped underground like Anna. Carefully, he explored the basement, but there was no exit, only a single wall standing at the end of a long corridor. Defeated, he sat in a corner and listened to Anna's recording again. The fear in her voice sounded far too real, and Jack couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him from the darkness. He quickly decided to leave, but as he stood up, he kicked something on the floor. It was a used piece of chalk. That discovery made him even more uneasy. He sprinted back toward the elevator. There was only 1 minute left until the hour. All he could do was curl up and wait. Then suddenly, every light in the basement went out. A moment later, the sound of chains dragging across the floor echoed through the darkness. Jack knew for certain there had been no living thing down there during his search. Thankfully, the hour had arrived. The elevator was about to activate, but the sound kept getting closer and closer. In the darkness, Jack thought he saw a horrifying face. At last, the elevator started moving. Jack escaped back to the room above. Breathing heavily, he looked down through the elevator opening. And there, climbing upward through the darkness, was something waiting for him. At that moment, Jack could no longer deny it. The witch was real. He immediately slammed the door shut, but the crawling sounds didn't stop. Then he watched in horror as a pair of hands slowly pushed the door back open. Not daring to stay, Jack rushed to find another place to hide. In his panic, he slipped and fell into a bathtub full of water. Soaked and terrified, he scrambled to his feet and ran into the bedroom. The creature's sharp, unsettling laughter echoed through the room. Jack locked every possible entrance he could find. Meanwhile, the creature searched for a way inside. Soon it appeared outside the window. Jack remembered the piece of chalk he had found earlier. Someone had told him that a chalk circle could keep evil spirits away. With no other options left, he frantically started drawing a circle on the floor. At the same time, the creature was forcing its way through a broken section of the window. Just as the door began to open, Jack finished the circle and jumped onto the bed. He didn't even dare pull back the bed curtains. All he could do was watch the shadow moving outside. Thankfully, the chalk circle worked. Jack survived the night. The next morning, he cautiously stepped out of the circle. Only after confirming the creature was gone did he dare look around. Then he spotted a vehicle outside. For the first time, he felt a spark of hope. Jack immediately rang the old mechanical service bell, hoping someone downstairs would notice. But after waiting for a long time, all he saw was the vehicle driving away. His only hope seemed gone. What Jack didn't know was that the homeless man who had come with him had already sensed that something was wrong. Despite his injuries, he refused to give up on Jack. Determined to help, he returned to the hotel. After smashing open the door with an axe, the two barely had time to celebrate. The hotel owner suddenly appeared and attacked the homeless man with a bow. Then he set the building on fire. His plan was to bury both Jack and all of his secrets forever. But he overlooked one important detail. Without the key, he couldn't escape either. With no choice, he headed back upstairs. During that time, Jack managed to steal the key. Having nowhere else to go, he returned to the basement. At this point, the creature below seemed less frightening than the man above. Carefully making his way through the darkness, Jack listened as the owner spoke through the building's intercom. The owner claimed they could still leave together. All Jack had to do was bring him the key. He promised he wouldn't hurt him. But Jack no longer believed a word he said. He pulled out the chalk and began drawing another circle. Before he could finish, something grabbed him. Upstairs, the owner received no response. Finally, he gathered the courage to enter the basement himself. There he spotted the key hanging overhead. Keeping a nervous eye on the darkness around him, he quickly reached for it. Then the creature appeared. It locked a shackle around the man's wrist. Dragging heavy chains behind it, the creature pulled him past Jack. By now, Jack had completely given up. He sat quietly, waiting for the end. Then he saw his mother's spirit. She told him she had never blamed him. Gently placing a hand on his chest, she comforted him before fading away. As she disappeared, Jack noticed something hidden inside his coat. A knife. And suddenly he had an idea. Nearby, the creature opened a massive door filled with countless trapped spirits. The owner was the first to be dragged into the darkness beyond. Seeing this, Jack found the will to fight again. No matter how hard the owner struggled, he couldn't break free from the chains. Meanwhile, Jack managed to free himself. He sprinted toward the service elevator. Before leaving, he grabbed the key hanging above. Maybe Anna was still watching over him somehow, because at that exact moment, the clock struck the hour. The elevator mechanism activated automatically. Jack made it back upstairs and escaped before the creature could catch him. But when the elevator doors opened, Another nightmare awaited him. The entire hotel was engulfed in flames. The thick smoke quickly overwhelmed him. Jack lost consciousness. Fortunately, someone found him in time and carried him to safety. The fire destroyed the hotel, along with every secret hidden inside it. But what surprised Jack most happened later at the hospital. There, he ran into Abby, and Abby revealed a terrifying truth. The night Jack insulted him and refused to listen to his writing, Abby had become furious. As revenge, he secretly mixed some of the homeless man's hallucinogenic mushroom powder into Jack's drink. That was why Jack had started seeing visions of his mother. The guilt and hallucinations had ultimately led to his first hospitalization. Overcome with regret, Abby sincerely apologized. Jack listened quietly. Then he looked down at the bruises on his wrists left by the chains, and doubt filled his mind. Had everything happened because of the mushrooms, or was there really a witch living beneath that hotel? In the end, the answer didn't matter, because sometimes the darkness inside a human heart is far more frightening than any evil spirit. And now the fire had buried every secret and every sin beneath the ashes forever.